Welcome to another episode of 5 for 5. I'm your host, Derek Brown. Our first guest is Mr. Brent Greuter, president of Texas Contract Floors here in Houston, Texas. Take a minute and view their website at texascontractfloors.com, spelled just like it sounds. So without further ado, let's turn the first question over to Mr. Brent Greuter, who has selected question number 1. What's the most fun you've had at work?
The most fun. Aside from birthdays or family, births or, additions to families, it's, I would have to say the accomplishment of a goal, accomplishment of a project that we really, not that we overstepped our boundaries, but was really challenging. Just to be able to accomplish something that you might not have been able to do before is a great deal, a great accomplishment. It's always a good satisfaction.
Question 2. What is the most difficult time you've experienced in your career?
Most difficult time? Well, that would obviously be money related. When collections are behind, the payables and the vendors don't wait. They don't. It's always an issue to try to keep things moving forward, keep your momentum as far as payables go. And you don't, on open credit lines, you don't. You have some leeway, and you try to maximize your relationships. But at the same time, you got to get your bills paid, or they don't release your materials. If you don't release your materials, you don't get forward progress. So.
Here's a fun one. What book is on your nightstand?
Oh gosh. Well, since we're in an MBA program, what's the title of the book we're reading? Truthfully, I don't have a book on my nightstand. I do. I'm one of those that's early to rise and early down. Honestly, when I hit the sack at night, I can't keep my eyes open long enough to read. So,
what's the last book you read?
Dead Men Walking. Larry McMurtry, I think it is. And it took me a while to get through it. It's a good lengthy. It's a great story. Haven't seen the movie yet. I know that there's a movie out there for it, so I need to follow up on that.
Question number 4. Name 5 sites that you read regularly.
5 sites.
5 websites that you go to regularly.
Well, I would say BNet would be one.
And can you describe these briefly as you kind of identify?
Yeah. BNet is one of those that we got identified here through the program, the MBA program here at Bauer. And it was just one of those that during research for one of our class projects I stumbled across, and it was just it's a wealth of information. The other one is NAA, which is National Apartment Association. I'm in the flooring business, and a large concentration of my business is within the apartment community. So it's one of those. I think it's NAA.com.
Tell us what accomplishment you're most proud of.
What accomplishment? I had Panama City Beach. Again, work related. It's I was offered a contract to supply and install floor covering in a new condominium project in Panama City Beach. The contract itself was $3.2 million, which was not quite, but almost what our normal average annual sales are. So within one contract, I was going to hit what would normally be an annual gross. Unfortunately, we were not able to finish it because the owner walked away from it, back when Florida took its hit, or when the market took its hit. So that's one of the greatest things that I look back on is number one, they would even, it was a repeat customer, number one, that they would even consider giving me that size of a job and trusting me with, being part of their team. But actually getting to the last day when the owner finally just said, okay, boys, let's go home.
We thank Brent Greuter, president of Texas Contract Floors, for joining us on today's episode of 5 for 5. For more episodes of 5 for 5, find us online at 5for5.tv.